Hi everyone, my name is Winona. I'm the leader of Busted Knuckles, which is an adult restoration and recovery ministry out of Roadhouse Biker Church located in San Bernardino, California. Today I'd like to go over our road maps. In Busted Knuckles, we have road maps. Let me show you the first one because our trip through restoration and recovery is a roadmap to recovery. We all get through this recovery with a few busted knuckles along the way because it is kind of hard work. It definitely is. But I want to read to you our roadmap for this month. The fourth month, we're going to be working on roadmap 4. And it reads as this. It says, I looked at the wreckage, and as horrible as it was, he showed me how much could be salvaged. But first, I had to sort through the debris and clean up the mess. I trusted God. Let us examine our ways and test them and return to the Lord. Let us lift up our hearts and our hands to God in heaven. That's Lamentations 3:40 to 41. He showed me what I needed to do. I just needed to do it. Now, does that sound like us? We know what we need to do. We need to turn ourselves over to God. Amen. But what this step means is in the roadmap, it says that he showed me how much could be salvaged, but first we had to sort through the debris and clean up the mess. And that goes along with step 4 in like Celebrate Recovery, AA, NA. The fourth step is we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Now, this is a hard, well, it's a soul searching and hard step to do, and a lot of times people avoid doing it. They walk past it and just not do it. But please look at this as a business. You cannot run a business if you don't have an inventory of what you've got available. And in this, we have to look back and see, maybe going back over some hurtful things, some hurts that we've experienced, and perhaps some hurts that we've done to others. And we're just making an inventory of everything. Other steps, 5, 6, 7, there's 8 other steps that help you work with this inventory that you're going to be doing. But I want to read to you the devotion for step 4. And it's the very first one. It's called Facing the Sadness, and it's out of the book of Nehemiah. It's out of Nehemiah 8, and it's verses 7 through 10. This devotion is on. And just remember that you're sorting through debris. Things have happened, and you're making a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself. So the devotion reads as this. Most of us falter at the prospect of making an honest personal inventory. The rationalizations and excuses abound for avoiding this step. The bottom line is we know that there's an enormous amount of sadness that awaits us, and we fear that the pain of facing the sadness will bring. The Jewish exiles who returned to Jerusalem after captivity in Babylon had lost touch with God. During the exile, they hadn't been taught his laws, so naturally, they hadn't practiced them either. After rebuilding the city walls and the temple, the priests gathered the people together to read the book of law. The people were overwhelmed with grief and began sobbing because their lives in no way measured up. But I love this. The priest said to them, don't mourn or weep on such a day as this, for today is a sacred day before the Lord your God. Go and celebrate with a feast of rich foods and sweet drink, and share gifts of food with people who have prepared nothing. For the joy of the Lord is your strength. Again, it's Nehemiah 8, and that's from verses 9 and 10. That day marked the beginning of the Festival of Tabernacle. That's a required Jewish feast which celebrated their escape from bondage in Egypt and God's care for them while they wandered in the wilderness. Now, when we set out to face the pain and sadness of making a moral inventory, we will need the joy of the Lord to give us strength. This joy comes from recognizing, even celebrating God's ability to bring us out of bondage and to care for us as we pass through the sadness towards a new life. Our joy in the Lord helps us face the sadness within ourselves. So don't let the prospect of doing a moral inventory stop you from taking a look at things that have happened in the past. Now, the exiles in the book of Nehemiah, they had lived in captivity in Babylon, and they were cut off from the book of law. They were cut off from their God, basically. Now, while we're in our addictions, when we're in our anxieties, our depressions, our fears, our shame, our guilt, we build up a wall that cuts us off from our God also. But when we start looking back and we do an inventory, we're able to take down these blocks, this wall that we've put up, and it helps us to reestablish our contact with God. God is standing there and he is going to help you. It says, like it says in the roadmap, he showed me how much could be salvaged, but first I had to sort through the mess. You need to trust God that he's going to get you through this, because he will. This inventory is a necessary process in your restoration, in your recovery. So I would like to invite you every Thursday evening, 6:30 the meeting begins at Roadhouse Biker Church. The address is 255 West Benedict Street in San Bernardino. It's right off of Arrowhead Avenue. We'd love to have you come and check us out. We feel that this is a restoration ministry because we deal with so much more than addictions. And when you hear the word addictions, immediately drug addict comes to mind, alcoholic comes to mind. Yes, we do deal with that. But there is so much more involved with just other things that we've gone through that turned us into who we are today. How we deal with our guilt, how we deal with shame, how we express our happiness and joy. But we find so much more when you have fellowship with others that are going through things, because you can learn from hearing other people's testimonies on how they've gotten through things. And again, it's not just a drugs and alcohol type thing. Recovery is so much more. That's why I like to call it a restoration ministry. And one thing is we love to ask you the question from John 5, when Jesus asked the man at the pool of Bethesda, do you want to get well? Are you willing to do the work that you need to do to get yourself strong in the Lord and have that confidence and that boldness to get through each day? Things come at us left and right. Boom, boom, boom. We're bombarded with stuff, but you can handle it because you've gotten strength from the Lord. When you put your trust in God, believe me, you become a strong woman, you become a strong man, and you can take on just about anything. So join us. Please come and join us. Thursday nights, Roadhouse Biker Church. Meeting starts at 6:30. I look so forward to seeing you there.